All right. Good afternoon and welcome to session number 6 of our Immersive Media Career Exploration. So I'm going to pull up our sort of overall schedule. And 2 seconds. Share here. All right. And great. So today's week 6. Believe it or not, we're halfway through and June 1st is the end. So today, really what I wanted to go through, of course, how you doing? How's it going? Good. So today what I wanted to go through is one, make sure all of you guys had a LinkedIn profile and make sure there's no questions on LinkedIn profiles. 2, go over the team concepts that came up last week and look at, where do we want to go and what can we potentially produce based on what we have. And then we do a quick production meeting for the June 1st presentation. I'm going to show you guys a sample run of show, talk a little bit about some of the job functions that we'll need between here and June 1st. And then I want to capture each of you guys to do 1 to 2 minutes on who are you, what are your key skills, what have you accomplished, what are you looking to do, and why you. And you can sort of, play with all that. It doesn't have to be exactly that way, but really this is all preparing you guys for how you're going to be able to present yourself. In the end, you want to walk away with a elevator pitch, if you will, of what you are capable of doing for a job, for an employer, for anybody who you meet out there where you can get an opportunity. So that's the scoop for today. And we'll start with any questions for the folks that are here. Everybody got LinkedIn profiles? Any questions on LinkedIn or your profiles or any of the information that came up? So I will go and just do a quick little on somebody. That's correct?
No.
Yep, for you, Pablo.
You put an R.
I put an R. Oh, cadena. Sorry.
Also, I didn't have the picture of you.
That's okay. That's you.
That might be you.
This one? Or so let's see. No?
No, it's not.
Your search is not that good.
I know, huh? What did you put as your title? Like, what did you put as your headline? Like LA Mission, maybe?
I put LA Mission.
LA. Nope.
Maybe under screenwriting student.
Oh, screenwriting. Okay, screenwriting is good. That's good. Okay. Oh, screenwriting student. All right, screen.
But it's not coming up under your name. Weird.
Let's see. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but that was really
That was hard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think one of the things that you guys need to know is that it's all about connections and the rest in terms of relevance. So like for me to find you, it's probably looking for any kind of similar connections, any kind of thing that's there in order to connect the dots. So I will be, since you have 0 connections, I'm going to send you a link to connect to me. All of you guys should connect to me, mainly for the reason of I've got 2,870 some connections, and some of those may be good. And one of the ways that people gauge you on LinkedIn are, one, how many connections you have, but two, what are the connections in common? And so one of the things that'll help is all of you guys should connect to me, but all of you should connect to each other. So that way you all at least have, 5, 6, or 7 relevant connections. But what will happen is if anybody searches LA Mission, you guys will all be relevant because you'll all be connected together under LA Mission. And that'll help you to be searched. So again, one of the things you may want to do, Pablo, is maybe add in a photo, and then anything you could think of in terms of interests or projects. So like under interests, you might want to look at any groups related to screenwriting, any of the creative organizations out there, the Writers Guild, the Producers Guild. Just think about groups out there in the space, and I bet you they have pages on LinkedIn, but you could connect to them to help you to get more information. And it also it will start to fill out who you are. And you want to look at other people who you think. So right now, Writers Guild of America West, right? So that's got a bunch of followers. You could follow it. You can see jobs. I already know 3, and these are writers. Like Doreen has a series. She's no joke. Like she's been a television writer. She just wrote a book. She's a member of the Academy of Arts and Sciences. Spice Rack was her production company that did family entertainment. So also look at profiles of people who you maybe aspire. Like look up people who you like and admire. Maybe see if one of those guys might connect to you. That'll start to make you relevant. And by following like the Writers Guild of America or something of that nature, then you'll start to get categorized in that way. So I'm going to look for. You know anything in it yet? Okay. Is that you're not Homeland Security, are you? Okay. But first, when you get a chance, if you have a chance today, to just at least LA Mission College, just some way to find you, that would be good. I'm going to look for my friend Nick over here. Oh, roulette printing? Yeah. That's scary that I know that, but I do. That's a good name, dude. Let's see. Printing. LS. No, hold on. Let me see here. Hold on.
The X would mean no.
The X may make me do the whole thing. Sure. And again, in a lot of these cases, it will be about your connections. Oh, so it doesn't find you.
Did you try to roulette print by itself?
Yeah, let me see here. See? Got roulette designs. No, this doesn't show you. So we should check your page and do me a favor. So what I'd like all of you. Oh, there you go. Aha. Roulette and printing are all tied to one word. So you just want to edit that and space it.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
There you go. All right. And the same thing goes here, right? If you have a chance, you should absolutely, because of business, you should look at any of the printing kind of groups, any of the things that you know in that space. Maybe there's, I don't know if there's any unions or any group, graphic design, designers, stuff like that. Like just probably a designers group, that kind of thing. But from interests, take a look and see if you can, connect to those. That'll start to help you be more relevant. And I will connect to you too.
And you can make a page for your business.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do all that stuff.
And then you could showcase some of your stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I've never thought about using these type of sites. I just usually like I post up a lot of my stuff on either like Instagram or stuff like that. So that's like.
Oh my God, you spelled my name wrong and it still came up.
Oh, see, you're good. You even come up there now. I like it. I like it. That works. No, you're there. You would get higher in my rank now. But no, to your point, the Instagram and the rest is good. What LinkedIn is just that business place that people look for those kind of connections.
Something with a customer or something like
Absolutely, because sometimes again, if a customer Googles you and then they see your LinkedIn, they're just going to give you a different level of professionalism that you might not get otherwise.
Yeah.
So the level of consideration, they'll give you, Nick's out there, he's got 500 people that he's connected to, all in the printing business. I see 5 of the connections of printers that he's worked with, because people sort of want to go and scope you out, right? Yeah. And then certainly every customer who you think you've done a good job for or who would be a reference for you, one of the things that is very beneficial is have somebody write a recommendation for you. I have people who used to work for me who say, hey, dude, can you write me a recommendation? And the rest, because it means something, right? I mean, if you look here, like, is all of a sudden Terry's active, right? So you see she liked these things, business strategists.
So full, it's not even funny.
But that's awesome. So you have endorsements, right? You've been endorsed for strategy, you've been endorsed in contract negotiation.
Most people, I don't even know those people. It's so stupid.
Right. But you have recommendations here. So you've received 2, you've given 2. You have all your accomplished. I mean, right now, though, somebody can get a really good picture. And again, I think you've done a good job here, right? Inbound social media marketing, the Story Lab, so all these groups.
But those change constantly, so I have nothing to do with that. I have like probably 200 things.
And they'll rotate through it.
But
but because you have, it will try to pull. You got to remember, this is all tied to search and tied to data, like we talked about last week. So it's going to pull things that may be in common with me when it's showing you to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't forget, Microsoft owns LinkedIn.
Yes.
So there's technology and data behind all of this. Very good, Terry. Good stuff.
But I can't see the graphic thing. It doesn't show on the screen.
Which one?
Well, because it says my name above. Yeah, I can't see that.
Oh yeah, above that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it cut off on the side. So you may want to resize your image.
Yeah. Isn't that image awesome though?
I love that.
I think it's an eagle eye for contracts, dude. I mean.
Well, and again, so you're using, marketing, right? That's part of your brand. All right, so let's go to Alex. Hold on. Hold on. Got your own there. Is that you, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have one connection. So one, you just definitely look at, just a title, some way to describe yourself, something of that nature that'll give you a little more information. And I'll absolutely send the connection to you right now. Great. And who else have I missed here? Hold on.
And Canva.com. This is how I did the background, so we have everything for free. Canva.com. You just pick whichever you want. Oh, that's one. I used to have a wave, and I thought it was overwhelming to people.
And Luis, I bet this is you, right? Oh, Luis? Hello? Hello? Oh, is that you? This would be there.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. So ultimately, so here again, so a title, would be really helpful. And anyway, again, interests, right? So any of the things that'll help you for a level of interest of what you're interested in, some of the groups, the rest, be really good. I'll send you a connection. And I'm sorry, I did not get you. Yes.
Oh, it's Josh.
Josh, okay. Hold on, let me get you there, Josh.
That was already on there. Is that right there? I'm already.
Yeah, you were here last week, right?
No, I wasn't able to make it.
Okay, no worries. I got you in for today, and let me find you here. Is this you?
No, it's the third one.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Nice. All right. So same. I mean, look, at least you got the college out. You got your stuff here, and the rest. Any areas of interest, and the other key is I'm sending you a connection. Make connections. Connect to all of your teammates and folks here in the class. Well, good. All right. Well, thank you. At least we got that part done. Any other questions on LinkedIn and how you might fill it out or anything there? Cool. So let's move to the ideas. So last week there were three concepts that we came up with. So the first one was Pablo, and so the idea called sort of discovering nature and experiential hiking experience or experiential hiking. I guess experiential nature walk, hike, something of that nature. Yeah. So why don't you share what your concept is to promote it and what you think there?
And he wins by the fact you showed up.
Well, you showed up and actually, you want to go ahead and do your quick pitch on yourself and then do that, and then we'll film this real quick. You good for that?
Can I see options?
Who can be my camera operator? Are you, Nick? Are you in the? Are you able to?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
What were the questions?
Shit, no problem. I know I put you on the spot, but that's how you get it. So, who are you?
Okay.
Your key skills. What have you accomplished? What are you looking to do, and why you? And really, the you can start with more your pitch and sort of weave that into it. So, in terms of what you're looking to do, use this as what you're looking to do, and the why. Use why is this a cool thing, and why should we all work on your project? And I'll wait till Nick gives us the high sign.
In that direction? Sorry.
I think if you want, you think you can catch him from the angle over here, more direct on? Yeah, perfect. That way you can. And Nick will give you the cue on when he's ready. He'll count you in. I will also get you from this angle, so you're in the live stream piece. Give me 2 seconds. There you go. So we got you from 2 angles. And Nick will catch you and let you know when he's ready. Oh, and don't forget to turn the mic on. You're not getting the video? And while we're working to do that, you want to practice? You can practice and work, kind of talk about the pitch a little bit.
All right. So I'm bleeding in with the introduction of myself and getting that into the whole pitch idea. Okay. Then, things that I've accomplished. Well, maybe in the industry, so I haven't really accomplished anything, but I'm working to become one of the greatest screenwriters. I want to make a name for myself. That's pretty much why I'm doing this. The reason why I'm introducing this pitch is because I want to create a new concept of creating a stress-free environment, be able to with intriguing new exploration areas from the comfort of your own home, your comfortability. I want to create a new, different, but yet familiar experience. What were the other questions?
Oh, and just why you?
Why me?
Why? What drives you? What?
Drives me I just want to be the greatest. I want to make a name for myself. I want to be remembered from years on, create a legacy.
Have you always been into like the creative process? Did you always start writing? I mean,
I've always. That's interesting because I've always felt like I've always been creative. Yeah, I've actually barely started going on to this journey recently.
really?
This semester, I finally decided to.
So that's when you decided to make your major. So what was your major before?
Forensic psychology.
Forensic psychology.
No way, that's
Yeah.
cool.
You know, but I think that's connected, right? If you think about forensic psychology, you have then a desire to know why things happen, why people do what they do, understanding the psyche. I think some of the best storytellers probably are very connected to the things that motivate people, right? Because you have to elicit emotion through what you create. And I think those go together.
I think we're ready.
You good? All right. Nick will catch you in. You got it. I think you get it. And make sure to project. Yeah, audio. Okay.
But, my name is Pablo Cadena. I'm a student here at Mission College. Things that I've accomplished, well, I'm pretty new. I've actually decided to start going on to this process, to the new journey. So I don't really have anything accomplished yet. However, I can tell you what I want to accomplish. I want to be one of the greatest screenwriters there are. I want to be remembered. Now, saying that is, I want to introduce this new concept of mine. I want to create a stress-free environment. I know, especially with college students, is that we can be very stressed. And it's not just for college students. I mean, kids are stressed, adults, work. Basically, everything can be so stressful. Sometimes we just need a break. One of the things that makes me feel a little bit less stressed is going on a hike. Over here in Southern California, we have great amazing places to go to. Like areas like the abandoned LA Zoo, Basket of Rocks, Stony Point Hedge. Some of the one of my favorites actually is the John Morrison Cave. Has a great view of the beach. And anyway, going a little off topic. I want to introduce this idea of creating a new, yet a different yet familiar environment of hiking. Able to take someone from the comfort of their own home to these areas where they can even map out the areas on top, even drop down the little drop down menu, and it will tell you where exactly they are, coordinates, just little fun facts in place. Now you must be wondering, why me? Why would I be the one who behind it? Well, like I said, I want to help people. I want to help people just release some stress. Take a breather, go on an adventure, make one for yourself. And with this new idea, you can do that. You can go out and make these new adventures, and it can give you motivation to get out of the house and actually go visit these places. And you can see the new, very similar details between the map itself that we create going into these projects and going into real life.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, and then we'll take that, we'll edit it, we'll do. So I'm gonna upload these to the folder, give you guys access. But the goal here is just practice, right? This is just that dress rehearsal of practice. If we can do this all a few times, in 6 weeks from now, June 1, I'd like to have like an edited, crisp version of that we could project in the auditorium downstairs when we show the project, right? So what I want you guys to do now is, look, don't worry if you stumble over your words. Don't worry if you say it. Just like in real life, you know, if you're shooting someone doing an interview, you often just say, hey, look, keep going. We can edit, right? You'll be behind the camera doing this because you're like, hey, I can come back and edit, or tell them where, pick up from here.
Okay.
And so think about those kind of things. And that's what we're going to work on is, and then how do we tighten it up? How do we tell a story, right? How do we answer those basic questions in the long form? So right now, it's just getting yourself comfortable, being familiar, saying it enough so that you believe it yourself, right? You know, that kind of thing. And then we'll hone that. So thank you for being my first guinea pig of the rest. Yeah. So I want to get other people. Yeah. So if you keep shooting for us, we'll. So Yvette, you have to come up and give us a quick spiel just on who you are, you know, what you have accomplished, what you would like to accomplish, and why you.
I mean, for the
and in general, this is your pitch of yourself. And think about the audience. So on June 1st, there will be people from AT&T, people from the LA Arts Council, people that are available, people who could actually hire you for a job. And so this is your 1 to 2 minute spiel on, I'm Yvette Oliver, and you got to fill in the blanks on your Yvette Oliver. I've done this.
So it's a lot of editing.
Yeah. And by the way, stumble a lot. Lots of editing is good. This is your practice, kind audience. All right.
I just noticed. We didn't be on the computer today. Anyway.
Did they change them?
Yeah, I was like.
Somebody put an afro on them.
Hi, my name's Yvette Oliver. Hi, my name's Yvette Oliver, and I am a student in LA Mission College. I'm in the graphics design program. I actually tried this program like about 5 years ago, right when I got out of high school. I just kind of got unmotivated a couple of weeks ago. And so later on, I just realized that I was just being really like creative, and I was just very imaginative with a lot of things, and I kind of thought I wanted to come back to school. And so I came back to this program, got excited about what I read online, and the teachers here are very great, and I feel like I'm learning a lot already. My plan is to mostly, I love like graphic t-shirts, they're kind of my motivation. I love like seeing that every day on people, and from that step, when I get more professional with like Photoshop and stuff, I want to do motion graphics because I love music videos, those are kind of very inspiring, and I just like getting my ideas out there and seeing my visuals come to life, and it's really exciting.
Good. You're way better than you thought you were. Or than you said that you were. That was good. That's good. That's a big piece. I don't do that very well. Terry, would you like?
Oh, I don't have anything.
Just you get to know picture yourself. You're Terry. This is your.
No, it isn't. She gonna do the virtual reality?
Oh, there's no. Oh, did you want to pitch your virtual reality concept?
No.
Okay. Come on, Terry. Come show them how to present yourself in 2 minutes.
I don't have anything because I don't.
No, just your pitch on yourself.
I know.
Who you are.
Oh, why you're here. Yeah,
why you're here.
I have no idea.
You can even say you don't have any idea. What do you hope to get out of it? A job.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Terry. You got it. Yeah, if you sound like a loser today, you'll be a winner tomorrow. Come on, you can do it. Come on, Terry. Yeah. This is also helping to break all the stuff out. So if you think about it like this, think about the motivation being the person who you spoke to before you walked in this room. I know you are. But just think about that. Look, Terry, you know what you know, right? You are an eagle eye on the contracts and right? So you can help people. There's a ton of jobs where people need somebody like yourself who can look over their shoulder. Look, all these guys are super creative, right? But if they got a contract from a studio for a deal tomorrow, I would, if I'm,
Call me.
hello, right? No, but that's really the truth, right? If any of these guys had the deals where they needed to make sure somebody looked out for them, looked out to make sure they got taken care of and all the rest, your experience and what you know how to do and what you know how to negotiate in that business experience, every creative needs a good business counterpart. All right.
Hi, I'm Terry Timmy. I have an MBA. I've negotiated 2,500 contracts, so I'm the girl if you need business advice. I never thought I was creative because I did contracts, but I realized that that is very creative, and I've made deals with people that said it was impossible, and I got it done. And what I hope to accomplish is I want to write something that people will remember me by. And I've done NaNoWriMo, which is the novel writing month, 7 times. So I think I have it in me. But if you need contract experience,
See, that wasn't that hard.
It really wasn't. It's really frightening that you just pop up with
By the way, I'm doing this because that's real life.
Yeah.
You walk onto a set, somebody calls you and gives you that opportunity. You got to be prepared that they are going to drop you in. Nick, grab the camera, shoot. Terry, you're on. What's your spiel? And those people who at least get up, try it, do it. That's the success, because people are not necessarily looking for you to be perfect. They're looking to see, do you have what it takes to get up and be in this world and get it? You're not going to get it if you don't ask for it.
And also finance. I'm really good at finance too. That's something I didn't realize people weren't good at.
Production finance is huge, right? There's a budget. We should absolutely think about if we have this thing, what's the budget, right? There's a role in this for all of that, right? So think about yourself as, a production manager. You're that person who says, hey guys, we can't shoot that scene. And we should think about this too. If we talked about, what do we have to do to shoot Pablo's deal? What would it cost, right? What do we need to do? I mean, if we had to float a budget to get there and the rest, could we get it done on $500, right? If we had to, and we're probably gonna have to. but that's the kind of deal. We need somebody to have that kind of oversight. So it's awesome. Hey, Stephanie, you cool to come on up and. Oh, and I'm sorry. So yeah, what we're doing is just a really quick 1 to 2 minute spiel, and it's who are you, why are you here, and then what have you done, what have you accomplished, what are you looking to accomplish, and why you, and why you, and certainly the why you can be the pitch for your VR idea, because we're definitely right now so far I think the Pablo's idea probably has the most sort of motion behind it, but I thought what you were doing was pretty interesting. Can we incorporate it? Can we not? Is it something separate? Come on up and tell us. I know I just dropped you in the middle of it too. No, you're good.
Okay, if I mess up, can I do it again?
Oh, absolutely. And look, you this is not about doing it perfect. This is about doing it. If you mess up, keep going. We have it on video. We can edit it. Our goal is to get it down to where you can edit it and have it succinct. And we have 6 more weeks to get this down to a spiel that you guys would know in your sleep and you'd be able to have. And we can have a video recording with your name on it that we can put on in the auditorium on June 1st. So think about this as your rough draft off the cuff.
Okay, someone's gonna see it.
No, you guys. Unless you're not getting out the park, then you're done. No, I don't know.
Okay, that's what you that's cool, but I don't know where this is gonna end up, so I don't know.
No, it's gonna end up in this Google Drive for these people right here.
Okay, so yeah. Hello, my name is Stephanie Kramerman. Hold on, I don't know what to say.
That's okay.
Start over.
Yeah. So who am I? Why I'm here? And
What you maybe accomplished and what you'd like to accomplish?
Okay. Hello, I'm Stephanie Kramerman. I am a web and graphic and web design student. I am originally from Texas, and I decided to move to Los Angeles because I really wanted to transfer into a 4-year university. So that is why I am at LA Mission College. And during my time here, I stumbled upon this
this course that really dived into digital media, which is something that I'm very interested in and very passionate about. So that's why I'm here. Some of the things that I have accomplished so far would be that I have broadened my arsenal when it comes to my with editing software and things that.
So what software have you mastered?
I feel like I have mastered Photoshop. That's a program that I was very interested in, and I had no knowledge of before I came into this school. And also, does it have my accomplishments? Does it have to be with like
No,
anything?
well, anything.
Okay. Things that I have accomplished so far is that I have gotten accepted into all the universities that I have applied to and have sent out their decisions so far. So yeah, I'm yeah, I'm very proud of that, and I'm still waiting for my dream school to let me know their decision. But yeah, I'm very proud of how far I've come so far, and.
So what about your concepts? What would you like to contribute? So for this VR immersive media, what would you like to, as a concept, what was it that you were thinking you'd like to create?
For my VR concept, something that I thought would be a really cool idea I'm sorry, I feel like I'm gonna have to edit this so much.
We'll edit it to death.
Okay. For my VR concept, I thought that it would be really cool to create an obstacle course. I really love video games, especially Nintendo video games, Mario, those types of things I really love. So I felt like creating an obstacle course in the style of Mario 64 would be really cool. And something that I had in mind is, since in VR there is a limitation of space that you can't really be running because you are in a restricted area? In a restricted area, then maybe the character is constantly moving, but what you are doing as the player, you are constantly trying to move things with your hands, you're trying to reach for things, hold on to, I don't know, monkey bars, and you're trying to move along. So that is my idea when it comes to this VR project.
Thank you. I sort of get that more now. Like, as a concept, I sort of understand what you're saying. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if we created what we really need there is animation, and we need like Unity development, a coder. So like in Pablo's, we just need to shoot in 360 video and stitch it together and get the data. In yours, I think, we need to figure out the other piece. But I would be interested as a team to see if we could go down both paths, to see what it would be like. I mean, we're definitely going to be limited by the coding resources, but I think we should at least give it a shot to see if we can pull anybody in that can help us do that. Okay, good. All right. So next, Alex, you want to go? You good?
There's no choice here.
Come on, Alex. You make it really good. you can wear your shades. Let's go. You can wear your shades. You can wear your glasses. Go on. Man, you look intimidating. All right.
What's your thing?
Mainly who you are, what your skills are, maybe anything that you've accomplished, what you'd hope to accomplish.
My name is Alex Bentley, and I usually want to become an animator to accomplish some achievements. More to drawings just for fun and for some free time. I usually draw and play games on my Nintendo console and handheld.
Yeah, have you done any animation skills so far? Are you in animation classes? Are you learning Maya or 3D Studio yet?
Well, learning stuff from Maya.
Okay. deal. And any concepts you're working on? You got any characters you've developed yet? Anything? The next?
Covered in my class.
All right. But do you think you could help if we needed to do animations and stuff for Stephanie's idea? Like if you're trying to make that Nintendo, because it sounds like you do Nintendo 64. He's trying to base this idea on 64. You think you could maybe lend a hand on trying to see how we would animate some of that?
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe it's acceptable. All right. Cool.
And that's it.
All right. Thank you. That's good. Come on up. All right.
My name is Louis, and I went to this college so I could graduate with degree. I hope that one day I could, like create my own game shows or data streaming, like. And I already have like so many ideas, and there was a fanfic working on, but it's kind of dead right now at the moment. It's kind of hard to motivate myself. I was hoping that one day I could become writer.
Well, cool. Are you interested in helping maybe animate the idea of an obstacle course?
No,
No,
I mean,
more characters?
I do know how to do anime, it's just that I just can't use, I can't use like something as complicated as after.
Oh, okay. So do you mainly draw your animations, or are you using Sketch or something like that?
Yeah, I did some sketches before, and also once did an animation for my previous animation festival, which.
Do you think maybe you could help us to storyboard it? Like,
Yeah, that I can do.
awesome. I think we got a gig for you. Thank you.
I think it goes into like character design as well, but.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. I think you're up. By the way, I am super proud of all you guys for getting up here and doing this, because I know it's not like the basic stuff for all you. I know some of you are totally uncomfortable, but this is the last step it's going to take for you guys to get a gig, to get somebody to hire you, to get to that dream. You got to sometimes go into the deep water, figure out how to swim a little bit. But I appreciate you guys.
Hi, my name is Josh Serna. I'm an aspiring animator. I've done a couple of small projects, mostly working on gifts for friends or coming up with my own cartoons. I do a lot of writing, come up with my own storylines. My main goal is to either become a professional animator or a storyboard artist, because I love both of those things very, very much. I love drawing and I love doing sketches of anything. I primarily work in 2D animation, but I'm getting around to learning Maya a little bit. My main dream ever since I was maybe about 14 years old is I've always wanted to have my own show on Adult Swim. I always draw like crude little comics and have like dirty jokes, and friends would laugh at them and say, "Oh, you should do it. It's so funny." But that was my main goal. And I'm just working at it more and more, just trying to talk to more people, trying to connect with artists that I know. And recently I got in contact with one of the head storyboard artists for a show called Mr. Pickle on Adult Swim. We started like, talking back and forth, and it's been pretty interesting. It's been kind of my guide, my mentor.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. So thank you. Well, what I think, by the way, is I think the three of you guys together might be able to help us as a class to storyboard out these couple of concepts, and between maybe a little Maya knowledge and a little Maya knowledge and some storyboarding knowledge, what I'm feeling here is maybe the three of you guys might be our, story. Because the next thing we need to do is, if we decide on these couple of concepts, the next step is literally get out the big thing and storyboard it and sketch it. And if you guys are able to sort of take that on and then identify the skills, and if there's a gap, we need to find somebody who can get you guys more skills in Maya than we will. We need to find somebody who can fill in those gaps. But I'd really love to see you guys come together and then complete something, right? Storyboard to creation. Because I'd love for you guys all to say you guys were the creative department, the art department, the storyboard department for this class that got us from here to there. Reasonable? All right, cool. All right. All right, Nick, looks like you're the last one up. Yeah, press play.
My name is Nicholas Morales. I'm a printer and a graphic and web designer. I originally just came back to school because I really love what I do and I want to be a professional at what I do. I really like cinematography. I like photography. I mean, basically anything that has to do with any type of design or being creative. And I like to take a lot of leadership roles and basically just try to make teams push forward to do the best that we can. And I've taken that role of with my own company and in basic life and jobs in general. And basically, I just want to become the best type of graphic designer and creator that I can be, and just use my imagination and just keep it flowing, and hopefully connect with like minds, and hopefully someday have my name on the back of some credit somewhere, and make a big name for myself. Thank you.
So Nick, I think what would be cool, from what I see in the room, you're probably the best camera op we got, right? But I think that's something that, if you're okay with it, moving forward, I think that's a role that you can play if you're cool with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So and you see, I'm trying to pull together the next steps, right? So we're about to get to our project stuff and all the rest. There, let me. I will get up and I'm not gonna make you guys do anything I would not do myself. All right. Hi, my name is Terrence Coles. I am a digital media professional with over 20 years of experience, going back to America Online, working through things like Lycos. I worked at a video on demand company, building Netflix before Netflix. And I currently work in mobile advertising at a global company that deals with software development to enable mobile apps to make money. Why I'm here is I want to see more diverse people in my industry. And so I got tired of being the only person of color or the only different person in the room. And I want to show up here to hopefully inspire some of you guys that that's very possible. I didn't show up, I'm a kid from Virginia who came to California with dreams like you did, and I wanted to promote and produce music. That was why I came here. I told all my friends, I'm gonna go to California and I'm gonna be in this music business, and the rest of it got pretty crazy. But I worked at K-Rock. I learned about the music business, but I was always in ad sales. So I was a salesperson. So I was around the music, but I was always selling advertising. So all my career, I've had the opportunity to sell advertising and media around entertainment. And I've realized that entertainment doesn't get where it is unless there's a monetization model. And so I've always been able to keep a job, because if you know how to get money for projects, then you're always in demand. But I'm always around a lot of creators. I'm probably a frustrated creator myself, but I sort of know my role. A lot like you, Terry. Mm-hmm. I do contracts, I do agreements, I do deals with people for money on ads, and I talk to software developers. I'm a lot of times a translator between the technology, the creator, and the audience. And that's where the money flow is. So I wanted to show people that that's possible, maybe from people you wouldn't expect, and to maybe empower you guys to know that there are opportunities out there, a lot of opportunities out there that are beyond what you might think you're capable of. So what I want to get out of this is I want to have this group of people, I want to have you guys walk through a process to see something about yourselves in this creative process that you didn't see walking in. I want you to be confident. I want you to be capable. And more importantly, I want to see you guys get a job. I want to see you in this industry. I want to see your faces in the meetings and the buildings and the things that I go to. I've been to Facebook, I've been to Google, I've been to NBC, ABC, I've been all over the world. I've been to Samsung, South Korea. And I want to see other folks have those opportunities, have those jobs so that, you know, we can all have a voice in what's happening in technology in this world. Thank you for allowing me to be here and be part of this journey with you guys. So again, I just want you to know, nothing I'm going to ask you guys to do that I would do myself, right? That's the difference between maybe a doctoral professor who gives you an assignment and says, go do it, and me, right? But that is my true desire. So what I want to do, we can take a short break here. This is probably a little shorter of a class. We'll take a short break here, come back, and then we'll go through the roles in the project that I think are available. I think I see a pretty good fit from you guys who are in the room, but some roles that we can have going into one, what we want to produce for June 1st. And also with the two concepts that I think are on the table that I think are worthwhile, as long as you guys agree, that we sort of pursue from here. And if we can get agreement on that, get some basic roles that people are playing, then I think we're well on our way to where we're going. Cool.
Can I pass out my survey?
Oh, yeah, please. And Terry's going to pass out a quick survey on emojis, 4 quick questions. Help her do research. And we'll be back in 15 minutes.
And you're not getting away with not doing it.
Oh, you're going to be? Okay. I will.
Hey, and you guys would be
many cases, like Digital Hollywood, there's like 20 panels going on simultaneously. And that's what we'll have pre-production meetings to figure out when they post the panels, they post the information and publish it. Where do we really need to be able to capture the most compelling information that's going to make the sizzle reel look like it as a news gathering organization? I say that these are the things I can show you more than I can tell you, but a sizzle reel really should be no less than 5 minutes. In many cases, 3 minutes. Really, the condensed, highlights of anything that will be kind of more like a bigger body of work. So imagine a motion picture, you have to do a trailer to really get people, a promotional piece. But a sizzle reel is more of something that hasn't happened yet. And you're trying to build consensus, you're trying to build the kind of leverage to make people want to invest in either in development or in some kind of way funding. So that's what a sizzle reel would be for us, to try to build capacity for something that says, all right, let me hear more, let me see more.
Here you go. So the elements of a sizzle reel. A sizzle reel is a 3 to 5 minute video that sells a show. Needs to have incredible energy and emotion. It has to present a vivid world of characters, and most of all, it tells a story to get the viewer hooked, right? So every show that ends up on the air has a sizzle reel. Think about it as your promo. And I think what Kevin's talking about is we're talking about events that happen that want to showcase what their event was about. So sometimes you might see it in the form of a time lapse of all the people who have gone through a conference, and you have the overlay of music saying, we were at the conference in San Francisco and these people were here. Elon Musk was here. Here's the video of Elon Musk. It was presented by Jay Tucker at UCLA. There's a video of Jay Tucker at UCLA. And we learned from all the students, here's the visual of all the students who learned, that this was the coolest thing that ever happened since sliced bread. And Next Fest is the place you need to be. If you weren't in the room, here's what you missed.
So we were going to those 3 events, meeting sizzle reel about all of that.
Correct. So you would do think about it as the recap. If somebody had to know what happened in 3 to 5 minutes and what they missed, you would have captured a 2 or 3 day conference or a day-long conference in a matter of 3 to 5 minutes with all the important elements.
Do we have enough time to show them the sizzle reel that I did?
Give me a link.
Okay, brown bag trailer. This was done by a group of high school students last year. Brown bag TV.
Right here?
Yeah.
No, that's not you.
Okay, it's not me. There we go. Somebody got me here.
This you? Nope. Wait, that's brown bags. That's not it. Brown.
See if you can make brown bag TV one word.
Yeah. By the way, when we went searching people on LinkedIn, that was absolutely one of the things that we found.
There you go.
This you?
Yeah.
Fresh off the boat?
Digital Hollywood. My name is Victor Hardwood, and I'm president of Digital Hollywood. Digital Hollywood is a company that I founded in 1994 to run conferences that bring together the entertainment and the tech industry executives. Digital Hollywood has over 90 different sessions over the next 4 days. These are all the leadership executives from the entertainment and tech industry who are leading the way on innovation.
My name is Andy Schneider. I'm the co-founder of Esports Hero based in New York City.
My name is Rashid. That's R-A-S-H-I-D. And my last name is
Rashid gonna let you know who he is.
H-A-T-I. I'm like a convergence wizard.
And my company is Labs. We're a entertainment company.
Jonathan. What do I do for a living? Oh, anything that's fascinating. I serve on boards.
My name is B.J. Douglas. I'm an actor.
I'm Dr. Jackie Sanderlin, better known as Dr. J. I'm Courtney Appel.
Ash Kumra. What do you do for a living? I'm a media entrepreneur, best-selling author, and public speaker.
Brian Berskowitz.
What do you do for a living?
I am the CCO of Horror Equity Fund.
Daryl Miller. What do you do for a living? I'm the managing partner of our Los Angeles offices and the chairman of an entertainment department.
Digital Hollywood has been on the forefront of bringing technology and entertainment together for a very long time, and it's a big supporter for many, many years. So I come to Digital Hollywood to meet old friends, make new friends, and hear about all the latest industry trends and development.
It's an opportunity to come together with people with like minds who are in that digital space, looking for content or content delivered on various platforms. So Digital Hollywood is a great opportunity to interact with people that have those same ambitions. I heard you say something about the difference between a role model and a real one. Can you explain that?
Yes, that means to me, role models are certainly very important, but oftentimes they're on television, very difficult for students to get to, they're not tangible. But a real model is an individual who has achieved just as much, but they're visible and they're physical when they come on site and they're ready to be answered, to ask any questions and to answer any questions students have. And I think having real models, students really need that. They need someone whom they can really talk to and who can mentor them and who can be near them and help guide them.
Society gets stagnated and it gets fixated. So if I can take this technology and leverage it to take you out of your comfort zone, that's what I want to do as a psychologist, especially for kids who are outside of
So I think for the audience at home, there's an entirely new palette of entertainment options out there and different ways to become storytellers and creators and tell your own stories. And it's just terrific that all the tools are now being made available to anyone at home who can go ahead and innovate and create their own stories.
For anybody looking for this new workforce economy opportunities, I think Digital Hollywood is a great place to start. Whether you're in the gaming industry or film, television, or internet content delivery, I think this is a wonderful place to start Digital Hollywood.
Find things you can be part of, webinars or whatnot, but then also look for opportunities that you can be there in person. Find different avenues and kind of be creative in that.
If I could tell them, you must come out to the Hollywood Digital Panel. You must find ways in which to keep yourself at the cutting edge of the digital revolution. You're missing out, but yeah, you should come.
You've missed a wonderful conference. You should have been here. You would have learned a lot about the future of TV and film and digital entertainment.
I think there's nothing better than being around other individuals and seeing different perspectives, being able to interweave a different vision from ours, and come up with something magical.
Stay up with where the world of communications, entertainment, and learning is going. Because if you don't, it's really the issue of the Red Queen. You have to run as fast as you can just to stay up. So keep going and think about this and get ahead.
Hashtag stay woke.
Let me just say, guys, these were high school students, so I know we can do better than this, right? And what happened is they took, we were able to turn this back around literally in 3 days and get it back to the people that did Hollywood. So it wasn't just capturing it for us, it was trying to get it back. And this was the first day of the conference. Our goal was to get it back before everybody left to go back to Boston, New York, wherever they came. We didn't make that deadline, but that was the deadline. So literally, if we were able to get anything done in a rapid fashion, what is it? Rapid ideation, rapid development, rapid deployment.
Absolutely.
If we get that stuff done, we'll be worth our weight in gold. That's what the promotion and marketing teams do. They really are able to get it back in record time because it'll be old news. It comes back next week.
A couple of days ago, I was on Snapchat, and you know how there's that area where it gives you news, social, not social media, like a culture, that section, right? I clicked on something that had to do with like the Syracuse University, and that scandal that happened like a couple of days ago, where there was like a fraternity, I believe, that did like a racist video, and a bunch of students were on protest. I saw that there was a person reporting for that event, but they were kind of vlogging through their phone, but they were the reporter, but they seemed like just a regular student. They were just there in the actual protest, as if it would have been me like right now, just vlogging for my Snapchat. But it was actual reporting for that, I guess, page or whichever news outlet it was. I thought it was really cool because it kind of gave you that perspective of the students. And I guess for me, as a millennial, I guess, it's really cool. And I feel like I can relate to it more, and I pay more attention to it when it comes from someone that I can relate to, rather than when it looks super professional.
Sure.
You know? So I don't know, maybe it can be just something to consider.
You should look at both ways to capture, right? There's no right way. I mean, just as Kevin was saying, while Terry's like, look, I got the gear and the stuff to do what you saw. The ancillary component could be real time, right? Because here's the difference. One, you got 3-day turnaround. You got to shoot, you got to edit, you got to produce, you got to have a certain scenario, right? You got to go back and figure out what you got. The ability to do it in real time to social media, different, right? Different tools. You're on your phone, you're snapping, using video, you're uploading, and it does have an ability to create an audience that you don't necessarily get if you wait 3 days, right? I'm here live in this classroom right now. Here's what's up. And then tie that to, hey, check out the recap that we're going to post on this link. So that's social media, which is why I think you're going to be that person.
James, can I show an example? I made a promise to a guy who would have those the Los Angeles Unified School District Arts and Entertainment. He had a benefit concert, and he said, "Man, hey, can you get me a blog, a video blog, a blog of everything that you saw? Get it back to me that night because I want to talk to somebody about our capability twin that meeting." I said, "Oh man, okay." But he gave me a ticket. So if you can't go to Brownback TV,
I'm here.
Okay, and gave me a ticket that was so far. Okay, check out our blog. Go down. Normally stuff is put in finalized order. Okay, we are one. Okay, click onto that. But so here's what happens. If you can get first person perspective.
Right here?
Yeah. So you get first person perspective, you're in there, you're up front and close, you can get the reaction of people, you can get sound, you get basically immersive, like you're really inside, just being able to show tell the pulse. Well, he said, "Hey man, when you do this for me," I said, "Great." So he gave me a VIP pass, but he gave me tickets that were so far away, that I literally had to do a zoom on my camera. But the resolution.
Is this the one?
Yeah. So
right here?
If you click on any one.
Nick from Nick Melvin.
Let me see here. Just click on any one.
Right here.
Yeah. Check on this. Yeah. So he says, "Hey man, well, just get and see if you go." So this is something I did back to him like 2 hours after the event.
Arts education, who's leading Los Angeles Unified back to National Artistic Front. Please welcome the Senior Executive Director of Arts Education and Executive Producer for tonight's wonderful show. Ladies and gentlemen.
So this is what Kevin's talking about, right?
There's no failure. This is the pay. Don't know how to use it. So that's okay. I get it. Just what I want you to do. I think that's so important. If we give you access, or you get press access, or you're there, person on the scene, you see a car crash, yeah, you got to get right there as if you were, first responder, or you're a person that's connected to the event in real time, so that you can give that first person experience with your camera. But there's a kind of capability now to actually stream live. If you had a YouTube site or YouTube channel, you could actually stream directly to your YouTube channel, and And if you could tweet to people, hey, look at my YouTube channel because I'm streaming live, an event is going on in real time, you have the capability to have, you know, an audience, you know, virtually looking through your point of view. And that's, you know,
well, Facebook Live is absolutely becoming part of that, right? You got people on Facebook Live that are going live on Facebook for no apparent reason. I'm live on Facebook right now because I'm walking to my car.
Yeah.
No, that's not the one. But to Kevin's point, it is about understanding this device and the capabilities. So if I pull this out and I stream live from right here, and I'm looking at the classroom, you'll get a pretty good image, pretty good camera, all the rest there, right? If I'm in an auditorium like that, then the thing to do potentially is like, you say, can't capture the show. Guess what? Let me go backstage. And when that guy comes off the stage, right here. And now, hey, you were just talking about X, but now I'm here with such and such that just got off the stage. So you shoot this to catch the stage, right? And you shoot this up front. Hey, I was here. This is what's going on back there, right? So it's all about using the right equipment for the job, for the story, right? Social media, real time, live, and the rest has its limitations. You can do it just because you could doesn't mean you should, right? So if I'm at the concert, I'm way back here. It's cool. Who do I want at the concert? I want the dude in the first couple rows. That feed is doing that.
And that's why every event that I go to, I have to get there early so I can get right in front. So most of my other videos, except for that, all my vlogs, I am actually so close. I'm giving a perspective as if I'm almost, you know, like a GoPro camera. I'm right up on this person. And sometimes that's not really what you want, but you know, it works for me. But you literally have to put yourself right inside of the mix of that experience. And be somewhere where if that's your, you know, if that's your brand of shooting like a GoPro, you got to do it consistently because that's what your audience is looking for.
Something that I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I like watching vlogs to really understand like why. Because, okay, I think vlogs, they're really bad content, but people love them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about it and I'm like, why do people love this? Even though you're not really showing me anything that is that interesting. And I feel like people really like escapism and living through somebody else. So I feel like in that type of situation that you're really far away, something that could be done is that you, let's say, like I have a camera that I have a really good zoom in, and maybe I don't capture the full hour of the performance, but I get a good clip of what's going on. And then afterwards, I can film my reaction and say, this is what happened, this is what we did, it was so exciting, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that can be more engaging rather than just filming like 2 hours of a performance when you're really far away. I don't know, that's something that I realized from watching vlogs that I like seeing. It's weird, but it's just you like seeing what other people like to say that no one cares, but everyone cares about other people's lives and their experiences. So that's what I kind of meant about like the Snapchat thing. Maybe it could even be cool if we create a Snapchat account for this class.
Absolutely.
And we all have access to it. So when we go for like, for example, to the AT&T event that we went a couple of weeks ago, when there's like a pause, we can vlog ourselves as students and say, whoa, look at this cube, it's so cool. You know, I think that could be like a good approach to the social media.
I love it. I think you're absolutely right. And what you're speaking about is editorializing, right? What people like is perspective, right? It might not be the whatever, but your perspective on sitting here in the class is what people are looking at, right? They're looking through your lens. And what's cool is your perspective is not Nick's perspective, is not my perspective, not my Russell's perspective, right? And I might learn different stuff from different perspectives or points of view of the same thing, right? And that's I think part of the idea. And just so you know, so where we netted out was we got 2 projects that we've agreed that we're going to try to pull together to present for June 1st. So the 2 projects are Stephanie's idea of more of an immersive obstacle course in a VR environment. Going to be a little more challenging technically, but I think it's worth going through the process. And then we have Pablo's idea of sort of nature and a hike, and he's got an idea. And one is 360 video, putting that together for 3 different experiences, tying those together. This one is truly immersive VR, but the unique experience is you can use the limited space. So objects or things, the idea is to make the game go past you as opposed to the idea of you running the game, right? So VR, the world's coming at you and you have to do things or motions in order to make things happen in that world. So one, truly immersive VR concept. We're going to try to see if we can get something going for, challenging. Other one, 360 video concept. So those are the 2 projects. We've gotten together now. We have 3 guys that are the storyboard art guys, you know, that kind of thing. So that's Josh and Lewis and Alex. They all, and what we did before you guys were here, I made everybody get up, that's why the camera's here, and give a quick spiel on themselves. And everybody, it's not for anybody but us, but this is their first practice. So because we're gonna, everybody will have 1 to 2 minutes on who I am, what I've accomplished, what I want to accomplish. So that piece, so everybody practiced it earlier. Every week we'll continue to practice, and by June 1st, everybody will have one that we can put in show there. And we will, so the show will be presenting everybody's profile and then presenting these 2 projects as to what we tried to do. And we're now divvying up from the production meeting who's going to do what. So producers are set as you and I, right? Production manager. So Terry is our production manager because she's the contract person and she's the business person. So we're looking at Terry being the production manager. Nick, camera op, lead on the camera op and the rest. We're open on audio. So we need somebody to fill in to be our audio person. We don't have that set yet. Storyboarding and graphics of the rest are Alex, Luis, and Josh. Talent manager, again, somebody to communicate with all the people who are going to be there. Please.
Yes, so for the next, I think, about 4 Fridays, they're going to be downstairs between 12 and 4, preparing for their sound and stage screening fest. So that's where Amber and a couple other people in the class are down there. They'll be there basically to rehearse for their program on June 2nd, which kind of conflicts with AT&T Shape, so be it. But there may be a way for us to start moving downstairs as they're rehearsing and prepping and all the production stuff.
It would be great if we could get an hour of that time to prep and rehearse and do the same thing for our stuff on June 1st.
Right, because they're not gonna strike the set until they finish June 2nd. So literally, all the stuff that they're setting up for their Screen Fest or stage and Screen Fest is down there now.
Then we should use the set. I mean, and so ultimately, if we can use that for set design and stage. So what I'd love to do is, why don't we make Amber then our stage manager, since she knows what's going on down there.
Well, I was going to say, if I already used up the break, but we should go down there when we leave. Everybody that's in
this class, I got to cut early today.
What's going on down there? This was the first week of their preparation rehearsal for sound and stage fest. But it's literally important for us to figure out how they're going to use all their resources and assets. I mean, they're throwing everything.
Good.
For the screen.
Then we should leverage that. And look, I've got to cut. We were going to cut here about 2 anyway, so we should walk down and take a look. So our goal here was to, this is our production meeting number 1, right? Was to figure out what do we have in the room. Oh, writer, Pablo. is our writer. So for the script.
So the end state of going down there and kind of interfacing with them is that there may be some people in there who want to work on the June 1st, even though they're prepping for June 2nd. They don't really know the features and benefits of what June 1st is. Because the people that we have tapped to come are kind of the industry folks that aren't coming to see a show necessarily. They're coming to see a industry kind of perspective on where things are going for students. But we do get a chance to have a little product placement inside, a little commercial inside. These are the people who are really the end users of all this stuff you guys are talking about.
What we're hoping to do, what I would hope is that we have enough time to have everybody's 1 to 2 minute piece or some highlights of 1 to 2 minute pieces available that, that we can show. And then we'd love to present the couple of projects that we've been working on.
I think there'll be time. I just think that it's really important for everybody to know. At some point, I'm really focusing on getting the run of show together for that presentation. It will be done by Apple. But I went to an event yesterday where I met some folks from Hulu, Amazon, and Netflix who want to come. And the stakeholders are really the Los Angeles County Economic Development Council. And they have put together all the data, all the forecasts for where all these jobs are going. And how all these jobs can start to be broken down and analyzed by leadership, not enforcement by the students, but by leadership as how to get the training there. I think what we're going to do is create a step where the students are going to get a chance to talk to these people direct, without it going through.
Well, that's why I'd like to at least present who some of these students are and the projects that are there. And here's a sample run of show, which we used when we did the deal here, but ultimately, this is where it all starts. So I was going to use this, so I included this in the deck. So everybody has a sort of sample of what we say for run of show. We talked a little bit last week of what that is. Run of show is a schedule, right? It starts with where, right? It's happening here at LA Michigan College in the auditorium. It's happening on June 1st, and it's happening for a certain amount of time. And the run of show is going to schedule out then what happens first, second, third, fourth, fifth. The hope is that, as we produce that, within the run of show, we got a segment. The best thing we can look for is we get 15 minutes in here, and then we script those 15 minutes, and that should be written and produced. And this is, your chance to then say, great, in that 15 minutes, I'll get up, Kevin, get up. We have 2 minutes to talk about what we did and all the rest. Somebody comes in and introduces a couple of students. We show the video pitch. We wrap.
Right. And so inside of the run of show that we ultimately come up with, and I'll share this with Terrence, a gentleman gave me kind of a curriculum on how to rehearse and plan for such a show. I mean, it really entails doing everything we can to create a student-generated, made-for-broadcast event. So it's going to take rehearsals, but it's going to incorporate all the things we can think of that we can authentically think. We're going to present inside of the show. It could be somebody working on makeup, hair, lighting, sound, just anything you can imagine, props. These are the kind of things that I want you guys to consider by using what their existing set is and anything that we can think of that can augment for our presentation, what we should be thinking. And really that's going to be the one aspect of this is going to leave a lasting impression on everybody, because we're going to tell them that this was a show that we did, as opposed to, it just happened and, by the way, those are the things that we're going to promote leading up to the show. This is a student-generated, produced content we broadcast, but it's planned and produced by you guys. And looks good enough, then hey, we'll all get credit. If it doesn't look good, then it's a learning experience, right?
Well, and so far as we have roles for this, Stephanie and Yvette have looked at sort of the social media marketing PR, right? So one of the things that we could do, so we have web resources, social media resources. So I think it would make sense to set up that Snap channel, right, as part of the social media. You are the social media manager. You choose the platform. This is what's real, right?
Inside of the blog, our blog, you can have Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. You can have as many platforms as you want to be able to showcase the ability to bring in different audiences.
I feel like Snapchat is a little bit more well-rounded, and if we're going to be in several social media platforms, we should be really strong in those that we decide to get.
Agreed.
So I feel like Instagram can be like a good starting point. I don't know. We can also link YouTube, because I feel like it'll be really cool if throughout the process we can document things and put it on the Instagram. That way, it's not just like the big event once a month,
Yeah.
And we have content throughout the whole.
I love it. I think so. The goal would be, as that partner, to get that you guys get together and think about what are you going to do to be the social media marketing, PR part of this event, right? And you guys come together and say, hey, here's what we propose, right? We propose that we want this, this, and this. These are our platforms. Great, right? And hopefully by next week, sign up, let's get rolling, right? And let's now start to see that Kevin can put a place for it on Brown Bag TV. What you guys know web, so there's web access to that, or I can get a domain and we can start clean and we can put something on a domain that you guys are creating.
One of the things that I was doing outside, we run on My Brother's Keepers conference call. And so to tie together all the things that I can think of that are relating to workforce development, I've created a new So we created a new brand called the Digital Pathway Initiative. And it's an old one. It was produced by a guy named Jay Tucker. Terrence, you're in it.
Yeah.
But literally, the Digital Pathway Initiative is going to be the umbrella for everything that I've thought of that will tie together and funnel together, rather, how do we get workforce development to become workforce placement? Because it's important that everything we do becomes something that we can share with other students about what we've learned, especially about what not to do, to map ourselves to jobs that we want to be in. Whether we want to create our own jobs, our own companies, or we want to fit inside of a very little unknown career pathway. Just like I found out about the promotion and marketing pathway. It's important that we share this stuff through everything that we can articulate in our own way. So eventually when you guys get up in front of this camera about who, what, why, where, and how, I love you guys at some point to say, hey, I've learned this and I'm going to find this to my career pathway. And it could really provide some spark for another student to say, oh, tell me more. How did you come up with that decision to go there? And then you can start to be as creative as you can, is telling everybody, how did I decide this? Did somebody give me the precise requirements? Or did I just do a lot of research and something just, man, this is me, this is where I go.
And that's exactly, so again, everybody here in this room got up, and even if they were uncomfortable, gave a initial presentation, a first draft, and now we can start to hone that as we move forward. The goal is we got 6 weeks to hone that down into, I think, as Kevin is saying, what's that presentation that might inspire someone else, that we can get those nuggets out. And there'll be phrases, there'll be information that you guys will ultimately talk about, how we label the class, the Digital Pathways Initiative, things that you'll be able to bring up as part of your next spiel for how you do that. So I think as sort of the recap for here, one, if everybody's good, the two concepts that are out there are Stephanie's concept for the obstacle course running game, VR, fully immersive, and Pablo's concept for the stress-free discovering nature experiential hike. I think in terms of the skill sets that we're going to try to use collectively, we'll look at the graphics, the camera, the writing. And so I think we should leverage these roles and functions across everything we do moving forward, right? So that way we sort of have a team, right? And so as we look at that, every time we have a concept, I'd like for you guys to think about storyboard. How do we storyboard that out? How's it writing? What's the script look like, right? What do we need to say for each of these kind of pieces and the rest? What's the social media marketing? So Pablo, you should share the promo idea you have with Yvette and Stephanie, and see how you guys come up with the promo for the game or the app, right? And we should probably try to do that for both of them. Yeah. So the goal would be, you're the writer, you've got the marketing team, y'all come together and figure out, hey, well, how would we market this? Because what's important is, what's your concept, but who's that audience, right? You guys should be talking about, well, who's the audience for these things and how would you reach them? What is your marketing or PR plan, social media plan? And again, all these resources we can use, right? If we now have a Instagram channel or for the class, you can start saying, hey, our class is developing this based on your plan, right? We're developing these two concepts. Here's what they are. Let's bring them to life, right? Let's flesh them out. What do we need? We need to think about, okay, business-wise, how do these things, what's the market for these kind of things? Who would be the buyers? Who would be the people? And really the business pitch, Terry, I'd love you to be the person that helps us develop.
Yeah, I just Googled it. I'm like, what are they?
Right. What's our business pitch for each of these ideas? what do we think the budget would be if we were to produce it for real, right? I mean, what I'd love for us to do is have these things researched such that if somebody were to say tomorrow, we want to license that, we want to option that, we want to put it together, well, here's our plan. Here's the marketing plan, here's the business plan, here's the creative plan, here's how you're going to produce it, and here's how we get it done. Sorry.
And I was going to say, if you guys go downstairs and look at what they're doing for their stage and Green Fest, we want to check out their set, but we want to have in our mind, perfect world, what will we do to create our own set? Now, some of this stuff, if we give it to the presenters at Apple, they'll go, because I'll tell them this is part of the lesson plan. Their students came up with a way for them to present something of a plan that we'd like to have them to consider. And I think that they would. So we'll look at the set, whether it's a podium, a desk, couch, you know, all these things are things that we should be thinking about as the style of the show. And obviously we want to also look at what the program is going to look like. I mean, the physical program. So we're gonna have handouts, right?
We got the graphics team. so again, when you guys think about those concepts, we got the graphic guys and so we need to figure out what are the assets, right? You need graphics for the show, right? Everything needs title. We need a graphic, right? For the title graphic.
So we're gonna actually like bring out
and there's Mr. Printer, right? Yeah. We need to print out your handout. Like, what's your leave behind for this show, right? Here's our show leave behind for people to print
right.
out.
And these people would be considered, you know, VIP. So literally the style of the show and the value proposition for us.
I was gonna say, if we do a physical leave behind, then what you should think about is each of you guys should have the little headshot and blurb of who you are and what you are and your LinkedIn, like in that handle, right? All you guys' pictures are in there, your names are in there, your skills are in there, right? Think about our ability to present each of you in a printed format and in the production format.
Even though this thing is going to be more of a business to business conclave of folks coming from the industry to hear what's on the horizon for workforce development, education, all that stuff, you guys are really the stars of the show. And so it's up to you guys to determine just how much, you know, you want to tell the story of your planning and production of this event through whatever product placement things you can. So the program is going to be important. That's the first thing that people are going to get. But also, how do we approach these people? If they're walking in, do we have signage? Or do we just come in and just figure out how to file in and whatever? None of this stuff has been said yet by the people who want to produce the show. So I'd like to take on the fact that you guys, from soup to nuts, are thinking about from the minute these people get out of their cars, how are we going to brand ourselves? And, you know, nothing like this has ever happened based on my research, where we get a chance to really talk to the people who are creating policy on what it is you guys are going to learn, what it is you guys are ever going to get from policy. But the people are really not sure that anybody can actually pull this off. So again, either we're going to look good or it's going to be a learning experience.
Well, I mean, no matter what, it's a learning experience, and we all go on the journey, right? And I think that's the thing. You have to not take fear into any of this, and you got to say, you know what, you're going to grab it by the horns and use this opportunity to really, you know, grab some of these guys and shake them up, right? Hey, dude, I'm over here. I have these skills. Show me an opportunity.
Is that list on there that who's going to be there? I'll research
Oh, no. I have that.
Kevin hasn't put it together yet.
I will circulate, Terrence, I will circulate what the abstract is.
So that we can get bigger people, then maybe we can hone in on what they're interested in.
The key people, the key partners, Apple Education, Apple Distinguished Education, and the Los Angeles County Arts Collective. And they have a overarching initiative for the 781 square miles that are covered by 5 county board of supervisors for everything that involves arts education standards, K through 16, media and entertainment, workforce development for any adult over the ages, well, they're calling it adult over the age of 18, but you can get.
It's Greg Johnson, right? He's the guy right here.
Right, so Greg Johnson represents the organization, but literally they are going to be the host for inviting all the VIPs.
By the way, this is Greg Johnson.
Their overarching initiative is called, and Terry, see if you can Google this, because this is going to be something that'll be the thing. The Cultural Equality Inclusion Initiative. Cultural Equality Inclusion Initiative. And this is the four corners of everything that every politician, every workforce development person has thought of about how to provide more access and inclusion of everybody in the county to get a job.
By the way, most important thing to read, funding approved. So that means there's money behind this initiative.
This organization has a war chest bigger than any other organization in the United States. Tech creative economy by itself is larger than just about anything else except for maybe Immersive. But they have included in this initiative, they have funding for anybody's ideas, anybody's film projects. I mean, tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I'll put the link in just so if you guys, especially Terry.
The top people that are on the board, if we go deep, this may be just one class session. To go deep is to find out who are these people on the board.
Well, I think Terry will take the action item as our production manager to research this.
These are all the people who are the philanthropists at the studios and production company. And they are part of the LA County Arts Collective. But it's kind of what you call the old boys or old girls club. There's nobody that's a student or nobody that comes from places where I live that are on that board, the advisory council board. So we're getting a chance through a lot of advocacy from my work and some other people. We got a chance to show these people that we're serious. They actually came to the very first event that we did here.
Yep.
AT&T, the president of AT&T, along with other people, came just to check this thing out. So I didn't know what was going to happen week to week, but I knew that I needed to have a culminating event at the end so that I could show these people. We started February 2nd, June 1 was the date that we selected to show what we learned, how we progressed. And everything in between was just going to be the sausage. But this is a real task of trying to say that we're experimenting with being able to have students have a voice, talking to policymakers about getting more access to the people who have all the jobs, but more importantly, have all the forecasts of where they're going to decide where the jobs are going. And they talked about this really in private yesterday. And there was one student in the room who got up and said, hey, I was invited by somebody. And it was like all the certain ties. And the guy said, well, this is great information. You guys, published a report that I'll pass out, to everybody. It was a report that they gave for where all the jobs are going for 2020. Digital media, gaming, immersive media. The guy says, well, I have the book, but when are you guys going to tell us this? How does this information get to us? And everybody was stunned. Because he said, man, we have to have this information now because it's changing every day. By the time we get it, it's warmed over, it's eaten up, and somebody said, yes, we agree. It's our job is by law, we have to bring industry into the classroom. It's not happening. So you guys are going to be able to really get a chance to show that you're willing to have a voice that connects directly to this. The policy people, they're not going to get out of the way, but they have to play ball if you guys show up as capable of being able to say that we recognize.
Yeah, I mean, and look,
if you guys are ready for this thing, I'll back it off if we're not ready. We'll just have a talk, and Apple will do their thing, if you guys get a chance to showcase. But no matter what guys will have the choice, power of choice. Dig deep inside the LA County Arts Collective and figure out what could we do to really show these people that we're deserving.
Yeah, I'm just sitting and looking at some of these opportunities, right? So this is at CBS, right? And this is CBS in Los Angeles. Remember we were talking last week about some of the skills, Excel, PowerPoint, data input, preparation. These are some of the things that to get you, and but this is in the digital sales and licensing department at CBS Television Studio, right? So that's an example of the kind of jobs that are out there. I also want to say like CAA has an assistant in the video games, and Kevin has a relationship with CAA. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll tell you, one of the things that came out of the meeting, that at the community colleges, there were 19 community colleges in LA and Orange County, almost 800,000 students. 30% of the students that are in LA and 19 community colleges, 30% of those students have BAs. That means they're going back to community college to retune or tune up or retune or reposition, because they know that getting a BA, whether it be 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it means nothing. They got to get certifications, they got to get badges, they got to get the new information so that they can develop. So you guys, and so this is what the Amazon Games guy said. He said, I'd much rather have somebody in community college right now than somebody in school. Because we're looking for people who have the right social skill sets, that are hungry, they're not entitled, and they're probably people who culturally will fit within what we're looking for, people who've got their heads on school. A lot of folks in these 4-year programs, they really believe they're on top of the world. And this guy said, I don't want those people to be sending me resumes because you don't even need a resume. To get an interview, it's really who you know. But when you get in there, you got to be a person who is humble, entitled, but actually they can envision you really working side by side with them, even as an intern. And so you gotta be able to have an opportunity to take advantage of the fact that you guys, especially in some of these growth industries, like immersive media, like esports, gaming, promotional marketing people who can actually do a reel. That's what's going to tell the tale. Not your resume, is what give me a portfolio of your sizzle. So that's the kind of stuff I heard yesterday. But that information, again, how's it going to get to you guys? I'm telling you because I was in the room. So I'm hoping that at some point you guys think about the fact that you're representing a lot of other community college students who aren't going to be able to get in. I'm transferring information I'm giving you guys to do something with. I don't know what that's going to be, but Terrence is probably more of a coach to help you guys take the information I'm giving you and just be cognizant of it. Even if we don't do anything, and you don't have to do a commercial or whatever, talk about what you learned, but just think about the fact that you guys may be representing a small 1/10 of 1% of the people privileged enough to know information.
And you do still have to do your 1 to 2 minute pitch on who you are by the end of the class, so you have it.
Just like I just want to get an idea of